Hey everybody, JT here, and today I wanted to talk about this Kanto event. For some reason, I keep hearing a lot of people saying that this is a very disappointing event, and that, what's the point of this thing? And to a point, I do understand that I am also very disappointed there's no shinies, of course, or no new ones, of course, but at the same time, this event is a very helpful event for both new and older players. So let's get into why. This freaking event is going to be giving us a ton of candies and catches and possibly good IVs for future Pokemon that we're going to really want when Gen 4 comes out. So I've decided to come up with a bit of a list here about what we should be catching, what we should be going for, and just like why this event's actually pretty good. So let's get into it. Now, in my previous video, I know I mentioned quite a bit about why you should be catching a lot of these Abras, because you want to get Alakazam, one of the highest DPSers in this game, and also you want to catch a ton of Machops, because Machamp is the best fighting type in the game so far, and it looks like when Gen 4 rolls around, he's still going to be the best fighting type, unless they change something, but you definitely want to have a lot of good Machamps, and honestly, Machops are spawning like crazy around here, so I would assume that's like that everywhere else. So yeah, you definitely want to keep getting them. Also, you really want to keep looking for those Bulbasaurs, Pikachus, Magikarps, and Dratinis, because they can be shiny, and honestly, with this event, I've seen a lot more Dratinis than I've seen in a long time, ever since this weather update basically killed them all off. So yeah, and also those Magikarps are everywhere. I really expect a lot of people to get their first shiny Magikarps from this event. So yeah, let's get into some Gen 4 prepping Pokemon, because these are going to be really needed when Gen 4 comes out, because they're like some of the best Pokemon in Gen 4. So let's start off with a Pokemon I've been seeing a lot lately, Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn is something you really want right now, because obviously Rhydon is a fantastic Pokemon, but when Rhydon evolves in Gen 4, he becomes Rhyperior. And Rhyperior, so far, is pretty amazing. He's going to have a max CP at 100% at 3,869. That's pretty good. He's going to have a 241 attack, 224 defense, and 230 stamina. This is a really good Pokemon. You are going to really want a lot of these, because I feel like this is going to beat Groudon by far, the best ground and rock type Pokemon in the game. And if they give him a really good rock fast attack, when those legendary birds come back, he's going to be the Pokemon you want to use. So honestly, Rhyperior is a great Pokemon for this. Yeah, catch as many Rhyhorns as you can, because I feel like this is going to be like the Pokemon you're going to go for when Gen 4 comes out. Another Pokemon I've been seeing a lot lately is Magnemite. Magnemite is pretty rare when the first game came out. He was really rare, and then now with this new Gen 3 and everything, didn't really see them at all, minus Nest. If you got lucky and got it from a nest, or even luckier and hatched it from an egg, then that was great. But other than that, they're pretty much gone. But now with this event, I've been seeing them everywhere. And that's great, because even the Magneton raids are gone. So you really want these, because Magnezone is coming out in Gen 4, and he's not going to be the best electric attacker, but he has a very high attack. He's got a max CP of 2,996, his attack is 238, his defense is 217, and his stamina is 140. Pretty solid Pokemon altogether. I mean, honestly, he's going to be one of the better electric types to have. Obviously, you're going to want him. He's going to be a pretty good Pokemon, and, I assume that if abilities come out, it's probably going to be a really good mon to have, so get as many Magnemites as you can. Now, this Pokemon isn't as common that I've noticed, at least in my area. I haven't seen at least maybe one or two of them, haven't really seen many, but you want to get Tangela. Tangela, right now, in the meta, isn't that great, but when Gen 4 rolls out, he's going to become Tangrowth. And Tangrowth is probably going to be the best grass-type attacker, minus the mythical Pokemon, but we're not going to get into that right now. And yeah, he's going to have a max CP of 3,110, he's going to have an attack of 207, defense of 219, and stamina of 200. And from what I've been reading and, talking with other people, he's going to be one of the best grass-type attackers, especially if they give him some good moves. It's going to be a very solid Pokemon to have. So if you find a Tangela, don't let it slide by. Try to catch it, because if you get a good one, this could be like your next grass-type attacker whenever maybe Groudon or something comes by. This will be the mon you want to use against him. Now, these next three aren't nearly as common to find in the wild, sadly, but they are also going to be pretty decent. Minus one of them. One of them is just for fun, but the next one I'm going to talk to you about is Electivire. Electivire is pretty good Pokemon altogether, definitely not the strongest by any means, and honestly, it's kind of hard to find one unless you find a nest. I have yet to find a wild one at the moment, though I did get one from a quest once, so that's actually kind of fun. And also, if you get lucky and hatch a few Elect kids, you can get some small candy amounts from there, but yeah. But he in Gen 4 becomes Electivire, and Electivire is going to be a really, really good electric type Pokemon. Of course, again, not as good as Raikou or Zapdos, but nonetheless, he's going to be pretty good. So let's talk about it. 2,904 max CP, pretty good. His attack is going to be 249, very high. His defense is 173, and his stamina is 150. Again, he's going to be a good attacker, but he might not last as long in battle. But honestly, with these electric types, we need as many as we can get, because there's really not a lot of good ones out there, minus the legendaries. So he's going to be a very welcomed addition to this game, I feel. Now, next up is Magmar. Of course, again, these are going to be kind of harder unless you hatch a lot of Magbies, or maybe find that one nest. I've only seen one Magmar during this entire event, and Magmar is, you know, pretty decent fire type. Obviously, he's not anything good in the meta right now, but he can be shiny now, so if you got yourself a shiny Magdior or Magmar, you're going to be really happy when Gen 4 rolls around, because you can get yourself a shiny Magmortar. And Magmortar is a pretty good fire type, as from what I'm seeing, like, he's got a max CP of 2,980, pretty high up there. His attack is 247, that's pretty good. His defense is 186, which is nice, and his stamina is 150, which is alright. So yeah, he's going to be pretty good. I would like to see if he gets some really good fire type attacks. He could be one of the better fire types in this game. Obviously, I feel like Moltres and Entei are probably going to beat him out, but nonetheless, he's pretty good of a Pokemon, and I really do see him becoming somewhat meta relevant if they give him some good moves. This next one's just kind of fun. He's not going to be meta relevant, but you want to find yourself some Lickitungs. Now, I know that there's some raids now where he shows up in 2 stars, I believe, maybe 2 or 3, I forget now. But yeah, he's pretty decent Pokemon altogether. He's more just a fun joke Pokemon, and when Gen 4 rolls around, he becomes Licky, which is, he's alright. Like, he's not going to be anything, like, game-changing or anything like that. He's going to have a max CP of 2,359, his attack is 161, his defense is 181, his stamina is 220. So, if anything, I would see you putting it in a gym, and if that, like, he, you know, just to defend it. Nothing too crazy. It's still a fun design, you know, not gonna, like, knock on it or anything, but he's definitely not gonna be one of your, like, prime attackers, so, you know, nothing too crazy. Last one I'm gonna mention is Porygon. I have not seen one of these in the wild in a very long time, but when he becomes Porygon Z in Gen 4, he's gonna be pretty decent. Nothing too great from what everybody seems to be telling me, but I mean, I'm excited to have one, because I do have a 100% Porygon 2, so when he becomes Porygon Z, I'm going to be very happy, because his max CP is going to be 3,072, his attack is going to be 254, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. His defense is going to be 153, and his stamina is going to be 170. Pretty solid. I love the design. Obviously, when these gens come out, they're going to have evolution items, which I know I didn't mention with these previous mons, but at the moment, they haven't added any new ones yet, so I don't know what they're planning yet, because I know a lot of people kind of complained about the evolution items, though I kind of found it to be a fun challenge, even though that final King's Rock did kill me a little bit. It killed me a lot, actually. But anyways, you know, I'm excited for him, and, you know, I think you guys should be too. Now, for myself personally, my favorite spawn that I've been seeing a lot lately is, of course, has to be Magikarp. I freaking love Magikarp. As you can tell by my shirt, and obviously by the plush, I freaking love this thing. This is probably the best Pokemon ever conceived by the Pokemon Company, and you know what? I freaking love it. I've got the plush, got the shirt, I've got a freaking coin purse that's a little Magikarp that has money inside of it, which is an amazing find. I'm so happy I found this at some weird Japanese store, and of course, he's got one of the best shiny forms ever. I love this thing. Anyways, this is going to wrap it up for today's video. I know it's a little short, but I kind of wanted to get into this because, you know, I've been hearing a lot of people complaining and, you know, thought maybe this would clear up some of the complaints. Again, wish there was a shiny Pokemon. I love hunting for them, so obviously I was a little disappointed there. But you know what? Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. We're getting shiny Mareep later. Whatever. We will get these shinies eventually, so whatever. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Comment down below, subscribe, tell your friends about me. I'd like to get my videos out there. I really enjoy doing this, as you can tell, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.